All right. Welcome, guys. If you're watching this recording later, we will start in 9 minutes. Let's see if I can get a little music going in the meantime. Well, this is the Poolside Lounge playlist. There we go. We need there we go.
I think you're the only one that can hear it. I don't hear anything.
You guys can't hear anything?
No.
I share my music. I'm so used to having admin controls on calls. How do I share my audio? Settings. Can you hear it now?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
There we go. Hey, there we go. 7 minutes to go. Thank you, Alonzo. Good to have you here. Cheryl, Richard. We got Joe here.
How goes it?
Hey, I'm looking to see if we can get the. There we go. How do I add polls? Live polls.
Are you okay if I make you co-host?
Yeah, whatever.
Cool deal.
I don't see. Yeah, I wonder if that will happen when host tools, lock meeting, waiting room, profile for advance.
And down in more, you should have all your options, like your polls.
I'm looking. I see record. You're recording right now, right?
Yes.
Under I see apps, so I may just need to download that later. There's some. I don't know. Polls, create polls quizzing. I still don't see polls and quizzes on my end.
Yeah, so in the bottom, I've got shared, then to the right, host tools, and then I've got a more.
Under more for me, I see show captions, breakout room, docs, apps, meeting room, transfer settings. So, no polls for me. We'll figure it out later. I can download apps. So maybe we'll do that after the meeting started.
Okay.
All right, for everyone just joining, I've got a poolside chillin' playlist 2026. Can you hear it?
We did.
Brian Mendez is.
I am loving the vibes, brought to you by Brian Murray.
Feels like we're at the pool right now.
Joe, where's the F&B? We need some food.
I know, right?
All right, guys, for everyone listening, we'll be starting in about 3 minutes. There we go.
I feel for it.
Welcome, Kelly. Debbie's here. Diana, Devin, Paula, Tammy, and Neil. Welcome, guys. We're going to start in about a minute.
I just need my water. Oh, thank you. I better get some more.
Karen joined. Welcome, Karen. A couple other names. Admin, iPhone. Welcome, guys. Welcome, Frank. Thanks for jumping on. All right, let's do it. Thank you guys for coming. Another fantastic Solterra Resort CDD Community Town Hall. Thank you everyone for being here. We try to do this in under an hour to get through everything that we can today. So a couple of guidelines on the meeting. There are 5 members of the board, the CDD board. You guys are welcome to email them at any time. You can look them up on Solterra Resort CDD. You can Google that. All of our contact information is there. The board members cannot talk to each other in between meetings. So this is the one time that we can chat or when we vote on things for the community. You also have the ability to reach out to Joe, who is the general manager of Solterra, and Brian, who's our district manager, so overseeing everything that goes on with the CDD. A couple things real quick. If you have questions, you can raise your hand or throw a comment in the chat. I'll call on you if you'd like to be able to speak. We want to be able to get through this. Please be considerate of others. Let's let someone finish a statement before we go. Please be open to listen to what other people have to say. This is a time for us to be able to talk together, chat through ideas, options, things that are coming forward. The board wants to hear from the community and what your thoughts are regarding some of these things. Please understand we've got 60 minutes for the whole meeting, so keep comments brief, concise. Say what you want to say. If you love something, if you don't love something, let us know. Say it really quick, and then we'll get the right person that can answer it on the call. So thank you guys so much. I think we've got a big meeting today, especially from the amenity center. So if Debbie's on the call, we have a couple of updates from Debbie's world. that we want to be able to go through. And before I open it up to Debbie, do we have the construction guys for the new bar? Are they on the call? Does anyone know? If they are, we'd love to be able to have them share their screen at some point. So just jump in the chat comments if you guys jump on. Sean, there's Sean.
Hey, how you doing?
Okay, Sean. So we may have you jump in a minute to be able to share your screen, maybe show some designs. But I'll let Debbie take it from here with updates on the amenity center.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay, because I have a new phone and I've downloaded the app and the whole thing looks different. So I couldn't tell if I was muted or not muted. I've got a little bit of a head cold, so I may sound a little froggy. So I apologize for that. But last month's CDD meeting was very, very productive. We discussed a lot of things related to the amenities. The big news, which some of you may have already heard, is that we are building the bar.
Hey,
So the bar is coming. We're working on that timeline and how it's going to coincide with the other projects at the amenities. The goal is to have things kind of done concurrently, but we'll just kind of have to wait and see what the exact timelines are for that. The pool resurfacing project is going to be underway here real soon. There have been some changes to that timeline outside of my control or any of the board members' control. We're going to learn more about that on this call. The games lawn is coming along. It is expected to be finished prior to the starting of the pool resurfacing project. I kind of peeked over today when I came home, even though it was raining, and you can see where some of the games are starting to take shape out there in the field. So that's super exciting that that's coming along, and it's going to be a fantastic new feature to offer all of our guests as well as us as homeowners. So I'm going to keep it brief. If anybody has any questions about anything that I've just said, I'm happy to answer, but we have a lot to cover. So
Let's lead off. There's a couple things there. Let's lead off with the pool resurfacing project. It seems like there was a lot of comments in the Solterra homeowners group. Is there anyone that has feedback, suggestions regarding timelines? And if there's anyone that can speak to that on the call, we can do that as well. But any questions about the timelines? Tammy and Neil, go for it. You can unmute yourself and go ahead and talk.
Yeah, that's a lot easier than typing.
There you go.
So just, can you explain to us the extent of like what will be affected? Will there be any part of the, lounge area or the cabanas or anything that will be accessible? Can you explain, like, what exactly is this process going to look like?
Debbie or Joe?
So it's my understanding that on or about the 8th, they're going to start in the Lazy River area. Now, mind you, I did not attend the construction meeting because I was in jury duty that day. Joe may be able to chime in and clarify what my understanding is. So basically, they're going to go in and then they're going to start demoing the Lazy River. And at some point, they need to let things kind of sit and rest. And while that's taking place, they're going to move over to the main pool and the hot tub area on or about the 22nd of September. Prior to the construction commencing on the main pool, there's going to be walk-up service to the cafe that is permitted. I think that Amenities is going to do their best to allow for the covered patio area to be accessible for people to order food and dine during that time. But pending, what exactly happens with the whole construction project, part or all of that may have to be temporarily closed, but the clubhouse will remain open. I believe that there's going to be activities and things occurring in the clubhouse during the construction period. When the lawn is completed, there will be 4 picnic tables with umbrellas in that new space. And additionally, we're going to have some temporary picnic tables and umbrellas brought in that are going to go into that gravel space right outside of the gym to allow people, other areas to gather and to, dine from, things that they have ordered from the cafe. As well as what I think is shaping up to be a very robust activity schedule, and I'll let Joe comment more on that.
Yeah. So do we have Maria or Celeste on the call?
Hi, good afternoon. Yes, we have both Maria and Celeste.
Perfect. So guys, this is the vendor. This is Vermana who's doing the work. Could you guys kind of give a general? So again, Lazy River is September 8th. Then there is, again, for the most part, at that point, we'll have the pool and the slides still kind of going. And then September 22nd is really the big day where everything kind of goes offline and kind of covers. Can you guys speak more to the process for everybody?
Yes, so yeah, that is correct. We'll be starting the Lazy River first, September 8th, the day after Labor Day. That area will need to be closed off for us. We, on the pre-con meeting, discussed the furniture being put away so that, we have easy access. And then once we turn over to the pool area, we'll have that area coned off with safe an orange fence. Not completely, like you mentioned, Debbie, it is going to still be accessible to your guests there, but there is going to be a lot of dust in the very beginning. So that's why we're taking that measure to cone off the area.
Okay. And then, yeah, I mean, so what we'll do is we're going to play it by ear from there. I'm going to work with F&B to arrange, curbside clubhouse pickup, obviously push for deliveries during that period of time. We're going to work within the clubhouse space to, especially because the CDD meetings are shifting over to the event center at Villatel. We'll kind of repurpose the clubhouse space because we're going to do a lot of events inside during that period and also try to still kind of serve cocktails and beverages within that space throughout. We'll be releasing soon kind of an initial, we have an internal plan that's pretty robust, and then we have a plan that's been shared with your supervisors. And then we also have a plan that's going to go out to all of you shortly after this meeting that gives kind of a sky high look at, what we've been able to put together this past week since this all changed in terms of amenity events. Obviously, we'll have normal sorts of activities on the daily, but then district had worked with us to set aside, and this was done well before, but set aside a decent spend to kind of cover us for this period. And that's basically what we're doing. So right now we're just kind of formulating, wet days and what we're going to do for that. If we're bringing out, slides, what type of outside activities we're bringing in. So you guys will kind of know well in advance, and we'll have documentation. We're still working through a lot of it because again, we have to work with insurance as well as with the individual vendors to schedule. But our biggest focus right now is just getting those plans in motion and then giving everybody a more of a just kind of a robust list of here's everything that's going to be there so that you can share it with your property managers or guests for anybody that may be incoming.
Sounds good. Hold on. There was a couple. Is Kelly and Jeff asked, is the amenity fee still going to be charged?
So regarding the amenity fee, Joe, as Solterra manager, and Brian Mendez, as district manager, do not have the ability to say that the amenity fee is going to change. So that's something that's going to be discussed at the next board meeting. We will vote on it. The supervisors will vote on that, but I'm not making any opinion about what I feel like we need to do until we are all able to see what the actual activity offerings are going to be.
Got it. Cheryl had
Yes,
a question.
please. That's
Oh,
what
go
I would
ahead.
recommend, Board of Supervisors. Let's not make any comments or decisions pertaining to amenity fees until we could further discuss in our advertised meeting.
Sounds great. Cool. Cheryl had a question. Is there any concern that the restaurant will lose money during this time?
Yeah. So I mean, sorry.
Go
Go ahead,
ahead,
Debbie.
Joe. Go ahead, Joe.
Um, I mean, again, there's the possibility. We're going to work very, very hard, as I said, to do curbside, to push the delivery. Delivery is something that was part of the initial concept. It hasn't been heavily utilized, so that's something we're going to push heavily. From our end, we do have, again, whereas the fee is not something that's determinable by my group. We do have the ability, obviously, to run promos. That's things that I've spoken with district about, as well as some individuals, but we have the ability to run promos to try to get people to, to be more inclined to purchase from the cafe during this period of time. I feel pretty good that again we're going to be fine. That being said, within the contract itself is a loss provision, so that if there was something of a significant portion, that Artemis is actually Artemis is actually liable for part of that. So again, I don't want anybody really to panic on that point, because our whole job is to make sure that that doesn't happen, and we're going to stay well ahead of it.
Yeah. And real quick, Joe and I had a conversation this week where we were talking about what could be done to improve deliveries and options for being able to accelerate the food delivery service during that time. And there was some great things that were being discussed, and we're looking into which ones are possible and which ones aren't. So all of them looked promising for homeowners and guests to be able to get some benefits from that. Brad asked, how long do we anticipate the project will take?
So Brian or Celeste, do you guys want to take this one?
Yeah, I could. So right now, our tentative timeline is September 8th through December 14th. Obviously, if anything changes, we'll keep all residents informed periodically, but that is the current timeline that we're working off of.
Uh, Tammy and Neil ask, our home is directly behind the lazy river. When you say demolition, my mind goes to jackhammers. Is what degree of demolition are we talking about, and will it affect renters that are close by the resort pool or the lazy river?
Yeah, I'll let Vermona comment on that one.
Yes, so this is just a surface demolition, resurfacing. We are aware of, neighbors nearby. We will be not be starting any noise until 8 a.m. We'll be stationary at 7. But normal chipping hammers, I mean, this is not very loud. It's normal. So we shouldn't have no concerns there. So yeah, overall. We're aiming to finish the job in about 6 to 8 weeks. For and great. We understand the demand, and we'll have all manpower on starting September 8th, every day pushing through.
Great. Sounds good. Alonzo had a question. Is there any risk that this project could go into December or the Christmas break?
I could comment. So again, I definitely appreciate everybody's concerns, understand that staff, we also have these concerns that we're working with the vendor. Unfortunately, we just can't give any definite timelines, right? We're coming up towards storm season. We don't know if there's going to be any delays towards that. Obviously, weather is a factor. We're certainly not trying to go past the December 14th tentative timeline that we've set. But nonetheless, we just can't give any guarantees at this time, unfortunately.
Hey guys, just a little update on what Maria just said regarding the 6 to 8 weeks on the Lazy River. Just keep in mind that the light poles have a 12-week lead time, so that will push the electrical work over that 6 to 8 week that she mentioned. So, they might be done with a portion, and then we'll come back with the light poles at a later time when they arrive.
Okay, great.
Okay, yeah, we appreciate that.
Any other questions from homeowners? Any other chats regarding this? We just want to make sure everyone's aware of what's happening. There will be more communication coming through. We want to get through this as smoothly as possible. So Vincent is asking. So there will be a closed period for the light. Will the pool close again for the light poles to be installed?
It's for the it's for the lazy river. So, according to them on their walk, yes, there would be a brief closure period for the lazy river for the light poles.
Got it. And brief meaning, is that 1-2 days? Is that a week to 2 weeks? What does brief mean for the homeowners?
I'm thinking at least 1 week, but we'll try to keep her under that. We'll try to have everything ready before the poles arrive, so that when the poles do come, we can install them, and we'll do our best to keep it under a week.
Got it. Okay, great. Kelly and Jeff were asking why weren't they ordered already? The light poles, I think. It was that just the process of getting everything approved.
No,
I
not
think that was
yeah.
just
So, Simon, if you don't mind, if you recall, there was significant dealings between contractual obligations. So it took legal counsel and staff some time to finish out contractual negotiations, which were finally approved, if I'm not mistaken, in our July meeting. And therefore, the first deposit was issued where we could actually start ordering some of these.
Okay. Great answers. Any other final questions on the pool and Lazy River closure before we move on to the next item? Just want to make sure and if anyone has questions, if they're watching this later, you're welcome to email Joe or Brian or any of your board members, and we'll do our best to answer. Debbie, did you have something you want to say?
No, is my hand up?
No, I showed a little green line around you.
No, I'm good.
All right. Sounds good. All right, wonderful. With that, I'd love to move on to the next section we have, which is the new Solterra bar. So the board tentatively approved the funds we set aside to say we want to hit the gas and keep moving. We had some renderings that we looked at, but we asked Sean and his team to be able to come back and provide some additional information behind it. These are the rough blueprints that we had photos of while we were there. I'll stop sharing my screen here in a minute and let Sean take over.
Can you hear me?
We
Is my mic? You can?
Yes.
Okay. I sent Greg an email earlier that he's supposed to share with you guys. I don't have a way to share. I'm on my phone.
Oh.
Does
anyone have that? Or can anyone?
Yeah, it should be in your inbox, Brian.
Oh, hold on. Oh, it's me.
So there was 2 emails. One of them is going to be the same drawings you saw already, just tuned up a little bit, and the second one's going to be some images that we wanted to present.
Got it. Give me a second. I'm looking through all my emails now. Sorry, guys. There's so many emails in here. Which one? I've got a bunch in here. I'm looking for. I don't see it, Joe. Was it from? There it is. All right. Give me a second. Let me see if I can. It's loading, and I'll.
The one that says Elixir Design Submittal.
Yep.
That's the one right there. Just start with the first image and flip through them at your discretion.
Let's see if I can throw it in here. There we go. And then let me share my screen again. Here it comes, guys. Thanks for being patient. Let's see if we can get this up here so you guys can see it. And I'll grab the other images and bring them in.
Okay.
But Sean, if you want to chat through this and tell us kind of what we're looking at,
So that's just the mood board showing the images, showing some of the textures that we're proposing in there. And that's just the image board that I used, I put together. So the first one I want to look at would be the blueprints. They're blue pages in that set. So that's just the image of the shape. So you can see how it fits, like the spatial planning of it.
Yep.
It actually works.
I'm pulling them in here one by one. All right, here comes the first blueprints.
So that's the floor plan. Just, it's pretty, but it's got all the information on it that we can build it from. Needs to be verified, of course. The shape of the bar was decided pretty much in our first meeting. I did make it a little bit bigger and made the TVs larger. So the next page is going to be the elevations, which you've seen, just it's cleaned up a little bit more.
Yep, let me put this in here. Give me a second. Here we go. Here we go.
So I want everybody to take time and digest this. Anything at this point can be changed. So somebody's got to be at the point to say, okay, we like this detail. Let's go with this. And at some point in the near future, sign off on some drawings so we could start building. But this is just a second drawing. So this is the elevations. The next page will be the sections, details of how I envisioned putting it together.
Yeah, give me a second. Pulling that one in. And go ahead. Is that Karen?
Quick question. You changed the view, but on the overhead view that shows that one.
Yep.
Would it be possible? I see that you've got sort of the couches that are facing the fireplace in that TV pushed all the way back towards the bar. And I don't think we need that much space between the fireplace and TV and that couch that's on the left.
Okay.
Is there a way that we could, can you go back to that shot?
Oh yeah, give me a second. So I was dropping it in. Here we go. Go for it.
Okay. Is there a way that couch that's on the right and could that be pushed in closer towards that fireplace area?
Yeah,
Karen,
absolutely.
that's our furniture.
Yeah, that's
I know
the
it's our
stuff you have there.
furniture. Please let me finish. Is there a way that we could push the coffee table in and push the couch in and thus expand the bar by 3 feet in that direction, adding more seating capabilities and making the bar a little bit bigger? Is that
Karen,
possible?
There was a lot of building code issues related to the bar having more than 20 seats. And
it doesn't look like
it was
20
just
seats.
going to be
It
there's
doesn't look
16.
right.
There's 16 bar seats.
So if we could add, by adding another 3 feet, even another 2 or 3 bar seats, it still leaves us under the maximum
I
that we
personally
need.
do not see a problem making the bar a little bit bigger, adding seats. That doesn't change anything. The codes we'll look into, and that will have to be decided whenever they give us that information.
Yeah, it just looks like, I think that the more seating we have, the more potential for revenue we have. And I do understand that there are tables there as well, but there's a lot of wasted space there where we've got those couches pushed all the way back. Or that particular couch pushed all the way back. I don't think that we need that much space over there, just kind of drowning in square footage. So if we could add a little bit more space to the bar, I think that we also end up adding revenue. It's just, it kind of goes hand in hand. I think the design is really beautiful. Is the bar top wood?
Right now, it's proposed as like a live edge with a poured top. So it's going to look like an old piece of lumber or a distressed piece of lumber with epoxy top. That's how it's proposed.
Right.
So there's.
It's beautiful. I was kind of thinking, like a nice underlit onyx kind of thing would look really elegant, but this is a beach resort kind of thing. So I think what you got looks kind of cool.
Just so you know, the underlit onyx would cost more than this whole bar. Honestly,
it figures that I would come up with that.
Yeah, so, I like it too. It's beautiful.
But I think that the wood, the live edge finish wood with the epoxy is really beautiful, and I like the way you've done kind of the shutter look. Is that lighting behind those shutters?
Yeah, and like a backlit shutter is kind of what I was thinking. So it gives us some accent.
Very, very, very cool. I think it's really well thought out. It's beautiful. It's in keeping with everything else that we're doing. I even like that light fixture that you've got. I don't know if it's going to throw off enough light.
Yeah, I think you're going to need a big fan there. Is what you're going to need probably because we're
Yeah,
closing that window. We are closing a window, so you probably need to deal with some circulation, air circulation in there.
100%. Great idea. From a landscaping perspective, and I see you've got some doors there on the right-hand side that aren't presently there.
Those doors that you're looking at on the right side are looking into your lobby,
Oh, I see. Okay, not towards the pool. All right,
not
cool.
towards. I didn't do an image towards the pool. I did not do.
Okay. So let me ask you a question. Now, we don't know yet whether there's going to have to be any drilling to accommodate a drain yet. We don't know that
There
yet.
definitely will have to be some drilling at the back underneath the cabinet to get to the
Uh-huh.
plumbing. I'm not sure where the drain will have to be. The
Okay.
architect again has to be the one to decide that. No, you have to have a grease trap. Hopefully we can put the grease trap high just under the sink. That way it can still drain down to the floor drain. That's the hope right now.
Sean, really quick, there was a question saying, how will the shutters hold up against people kicking them?
So I'm thinking it's not just like a regular shutter like you would think. That blade would be like 3/4 thick. So it's a real piece of wood. And the back of it would have a piece of probably backlit plexi on it. It have plexi, so that would hold it together too. It's not just little shutters like you would think. It's like a heavy, beefier looking shutter is what I was thinking.
Okay, sounds good. There was a question.
I still have another question.
Oh, go ahead, Karen.
And this is from a landscaping perspective. We've got these pots out there around the perimeter of the columns that hold up the bar, right? And in those pots, we need to get irrigation to them, you know? And right now, there's no way to do that. But we're wondering, we being Sunscape and myself, our landscaping people, are wondering if while you're digging around in there, would it be disruptive for us, or would it be easy for us to drag an irrigation line from anywhere in the bar area over towards those 4 pots?
I can tell you we wasn't intending on tearing up any floor outside of that U shape, that circle that the bar is in. Nothing outside of that was going to get torn up at all, if anything.
Okay.
So
All right.
you probably need to go from outside to get to those, or
All right.
I don't know. I'm not the guy for that.
All right. Well, no, you are the guy for that, and I got my answer. Not the answer I wanted.
I'm an answer guy.
but you're definitely the guy for that. Thank you.
All right.
Sounds good. Sean, there was a question, and maybe you can help explain, where is this actually located on the resort for anyone that maybe new or not familiar with this?
It's in the covered area under the clubhouse next to the Cafe del Sol restaurant area.
So the clubhouse is over here on the left, and the doors.
Oh, what you're looking at right here, which on the image you're looking at right here, the restaurant is on the right side of that.
Restaurant.
The doors that the seats are backed up to is the lobby. Those doors right there, that's right the here. Lobby doors. Yeah.
It's the lobby, and so the pool, the resort.
The pool is on the top would be on the top of the page. Yes.
Okay, perfect. Sounds good. Sounds good. Lots of comments about how it looked beautiful. Looked great, fantastic. Someone asked, can we add hooks under the bar for ladies' bags?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Another question was, what's the time frame for the completion of the bar?
That's not up to me. I'm ready to start building it right now.
Ideally, we wanted to do it concurrently with the resurfacing of the main pool so that when we reopen the pool for business, we can open the bar at the same time. I think that a lot of it is going to depend on Millworks, getting all of our building permitting and all of that stuff in order so that they can actually commence.
Yeah, we're going to lose
construction.
We're going to lose a month or two in permitting. But what's the date that you want to be done by? Let's just start there. Say, when do you want me out of the place? That's what I got to work towards that.
No later than December 14th.
Okay. December 14th. I'm writing it down. I don't think that's a problem for me. So I'm going to be like, when I start there for the bar install, it's going to be maybe 2 weeks once I start.
once you hit the property,
once I hit the property.
because you're going to do all of the prep
There may
work
be a little bit longer stuff
off-site.
because of the appliances and the plumbing that has to be put in. They may come in before I get there. So for me to come in for the curb, put the bar wall up, we're estimating about 2 weeks. So don't get scared if I'm not there at the beginning of this, but I should be there before. Let's be honest.
That's great. Awesome.
And that rendering does not show all 16 bar seats there.
That rendering is
look-
done by a computer, and it imagines a lot of things. I just told it to add some chairs. It does fit 16 people and a handicap.
When you look at that and you think, oh, that's a small bar, it's really going to have 16 seats at it and be ADA compliant. And then we have some table service in that space just above the bar on the blueprint rendering, which will give people a little bit more line of sight to the pool if they have concerns of watching children that might be playing and those kinds of things. Also of note, there's going to be a fence erected, a black metal fence similar to the fence that currently surrounds the whole pool area to kind of separate that bar area from other spaces so it doesn't get invaded with children. And for those of you that frequent the pool, now we know that on the hot days when it's kind of busy, we end up with a lot of large families sitting at the tables under the patio, just squatting. That's not going to be happening once the bar is constructed.
That's great. Yep. And for all homeowners that are listening, since we opened Cafe Sol, it's now brought in additional revenue source. A large majority of that, or a percentage of it, is from liquor and alcohol sales, where we currently have seats for, 2 or 4 at Cafe Sol for kind of a bar now. And we expect when this opens up for those numbers to increase significantly, which would also be able to help with future development projects and future things that we want to build or improve at the amenity center. So it's why it got the fast track, and why we're looking to move forward with it quickly so that we can get a second revenue source built and ready to go. I'm looking to see if there's any other questions. I know I had a couple of people reach out to me about the name, and Debbie and Karen, I know you guys kind of brought this up. Can you tell us where you came with the name and the reasoning for it? I know we approved the bar on the condition that we would discuss things with the community, share our thoughts, share where we're looking at going, and then once we do that, we'll make the final decisions at the next meeting. So can you guys give a little feedback on the name?
Sure.
Yeah, and then we can open it up to the community.
So, prior to Artemis taking over our amenities management and us, getting to where we are today, which has been a little bit more than a year now, we have all seen such wonderful changes in the resort overall, but mostly at the amenities. I remember back to the very, very first time that Joe and I sat down and talked prior to him actually taking over the amenities part of it. He already had the HOA, and what he said to me has stuck with me since that conversation. And he says, this is a beautiful resort, and the amenities, it's a beautiful piece of property, but it doesn't have an identity. And so since he's come on board, I've really been trying to envision what the future of Solterra is going to look like for all of us. And I know that one of the number one complaints that a lot of homeowners have, not the gate, but besides that, and a lot of our guests have, is the party crowd, the unruly guests, the people that are booking the houses for the 3-day weekends just to come here and throw down and just kind of disturb everybody's peace and serenity. And then Karen, being in the real estate world, she's very well connected with so many people globally that it just blows my mind. But she has some friends that she knows that are into tourism, and the number one trend in tourism right now is health and wellness. And so, you know, I had some ideas already, she's had some ideas already. And while our ideas are very different, they're really kind of overlapping in the whole, you know, the image of the resort. And that is, we want to create kind of a niche market here to promote health and wellness and being outside and the beauty of this resort that we have. And even if you look at the name of the resort, it's Solterra, which means sun and earth. And that's why people come here. So we're really trying to create an image. We're bringing in somebody to help us work on branding so that we can market this as a more upscale and luxury resort. And
So,
she's got plans for her part that is the orchard. I have some future ideas for the old playground, which we haven't really talked about much.
Yeah,
Because
let's stay on the bar for now. There's a lot of questions that have
Okay,
come
well,
through.
I'm getting there. I'm
Yep.
getting there. And so, you know, that's going to be potentially named the sanctuary, a quiet space, you know, that doesn't have children running around in it. The games field is going to be referred to as the lawn. So we're trying to put together, you know, names that are leaning towards a more, you know, holistic, healthy, calm, you know, image versus, you know, the party reputation that the resort has had. And I'm going to let Karen chime in because she can be a little bit more articulate than me sometimes, and I'm already challenged with my head cold.
Go ahead, Karen.
Is she still here?
She's here. She's on mute. Karen, are you still here? You step away.
And now a bar isn't holistic, but people that do come here on vacation want to drink. And if you look at what the word elixir means, it is a cure.
Right. Okay, so let me run through some
Okay,
questions.
sorry,
Oh,
I
here
was
comes
trying.
Karen.
Yeah, I was trying to unmute myself and I couldn't. Sorry about that. I was hoping somebody would override me.
Oh, I
But
didn't want
yeah,
to do it if you were gone or talking on something else.
no,
Yeah,
no,
go
no.
ahead, Karen.
I've been here. I've been here. I mute myself to try to stop myself from jumping in because because I'm pretty you know it wasn't my idea, but when I first heard the name Elixir, I was over the moon because I know what it means, and I just thought it played really well. And like even Hilton, I sent something to district management and Joe today, and Deanna, that now Hilton is, you know, before we had Evermore is really pushing the whole health and wellness thing. Even though, yes, they do have all the kids' amenities and everything else, they're pushing the health and wellness. Hilton is now pushing health and wellness with poolside Pilates and yoga and things like that, with all of the food, so all of our food sources apparently being corrupted now. People are really looking at, as I'm doing, growing our own fruits and vegetables and paying attention to organics. So and I've been watching this for a while, and actually it started in Dubai like 4 years ago or 5 years ago. I saw them doing this kind of stuff, and it really resonated with me. And of course in Dubai they attract a very affluent crowd, and that's what we want here. And I have to agree with Debbie that we've got people who come here and just throw down, wreck our houses, and they're paying, $150 a night to do so. And while yes, we don't want to lose our core contingency of Disney guests and theme park guests, we also want to be able to attract a different ilk of client. Now I've heard some pushback against the name, really only from one person, and it's somebody that I deeply respect, but I had to disagree with her on this particular thing. And somebody else who initially was not for it, but then when they were back in the UK, all of a sudden there's like the most popular new bar in their area is called Elixir, and they had a massive turnaround in opinion too. So
We
I
had
love
Karen.
the name. I love
Okay,
the name.
love it.
And
We've got there's a bunch of questions. I'm gonna go
okay.
rapid fire. Karen, Debbie, you guys are welcome to answer these. The first one's from Alonzo. What is the bar renovation cost?
It's much less than you expect. It would be, Alonzo. I think that our proposal came in at about $118,000, and we allowed for a 10% contingency. And this money is coming out of the initial first year profits of the cafe, so it's not going to affect anybody's assessments in any way, shape, or form.
Wonderful. Cheryl had a question. Why don't you have a community contest for the name of the bar? Or what about Aqua Soul Bar, Soul Cove, the Soul Shack, or something that is more in line with Solterra? Just a comment. I don't know if you guys want to comment on that, or we just go to the next one.
Move on.
Any comments? I'll keep going.
Well, personally, I don't want to see it be a free for all, honestly. I think that we can drill down into a gnat's ass on every single detail of every single thing. And I think if we do that, we have one meeting per month and we only have a few hours to do it in. And my suggestion is very strong in that unless it's something that's paramount or important, that we spend our time on things that need to be voted on that are a little bit more imperative.
Got it. There's
If
another comment from someone that's just on iPad, and it says, "I don't think the bar name fits with Solterra Resort." Just a comment thrown out there. Vincent said, "Elixir is decent, but what about something related to soul, like Eclipse?"
you know what are we eclipsing? I mean, I don't know. We could beat this like a dead horse.
Well, yeah, that's what we're here for. We've got
Yeah.
15 minutes left to keep going through. This is where the community gets to share their
Is
feedback.
the name of the bar really that paramount at this juncture?
Oh, yeah, for sure. It is. That's why we're here
Okay.
today. That's what we're
All right.
discussing. So,
Great.
who's going
So
to be?
let's everybody throw in a name and we'll pull them all in the hat and see where it goes.
I think we're just chatting together as a community. So, who's going to be running the bar and Cafe Soul? How is it factored into their rental rate? Joe wrote back to that. Joe, do you want to just comment on that real quick?
Yeah, I just again, so Cafe Soul, less your labor fees, a very small management fee, and then obviously your food costs, all revenues go directly to the district. And so all funds every single night go to the district. You guys own that outright, and the bar would be operated the exact same way. If we had to bring on any additional staff, it would just be through Artemis. But again, that's just your labor cost. So everything else is yours.
Sounds great. Cheryl had a question. I agree. The bar name should have something to do with the word Solterra. The word elixir is a difficult word, not as catchy. Devin said, I think the name is great, but not for our guest. It feels like a moody $25 a cocktail lounge, and I think it would alienate the people that we would want to use it. Devin, do you have any other thoughts on that, or do you want to chime in on if you're here?
Sorry, I'm here.
Okay, go for it.
Yeah, I think it's a great name. I just don't know that it's I mean, in my mind, I just don't think it's something that's going to change our clientele, and I just don't know that it's something that fits like the kind of people that are ultimately going to be using it. Like I know my husband just wants to go for a beer and watch a football game on a Monday night, and to me this sounds like um, expensive martinis and like people that are coming just for some chicken wings and a beer are gonna say like, oh well, that's not my vibe, I don't want to go there. And I think that ultimately it could do the opposite of what we think it's going to do. Like I don't think people are going to book our homes because we have a bar called Elixir. I think that I don't think it's going to change really who's coming. I think though we need to make it something that's welcoming and enticing for the people that are there. Is just my view. I love the bar concept. I am so all in on the bar concept. I think it's amazing. I just prefer like for my own self and what I see and what I just think that the colors need to be more fitting for the like what we already have, and I need to think it needs to fit our brand versus trying to make a new brand specifically for one aspect of the community.
Sounds great. Okay, cool. We got a comment from iPad that a bar isn't holistic. So thank you. Tammy said, can you quickly list the names you said for the lawn play area and so on, please? Can you, Karen, can you go back on those? The areas the ideas that you have for the other areas?
For
So
the
we
lawn?
have
That's not mine. That's Debbie.
So we have the future park plans that have been discussed at previous town hall meetings that Karen has been referring to as the orchard. The games field out front around the volleyball court is going to be identified as the lawn. The signs have already been ordered. The repurposed old playground, once that project is discussed and implemented, I haven't shared that with everyone. I think we threw around an image at either a CDD meeting or a town hall, but there hasn't been any current discussion, and that I have been referring to as the sanctuary. And then we would have the Elixir bar, and somebody said something about 5-star restaurant in the chat. Just know that once the bar is completed, all of the beverage service equipment is going to move out of the current cafe space, and it's going to move over to the bar appropriately. And what that's going to do is it's going to open up a lot of space in the cafe itself. And then the longer term plan is for Greg to be able to put in a real kitchen instead of more of a snack bar kitchen and take the other side of that covered patio space and put dining tables in there and allow us to have a real restaurant.
Yep.
It would be open air, but table service dining out there with square modular tables that could potentially serve parties from 2 to 20.
Sounds good. I'm gonna keep moving on. There's a lot of comments here. One from Cheryl said it's a pool bar, not necessarily a spa bar. Alonzo's like, let's keep it going. Great. Alcohol's not health and wellness. Devin's like, it's ultimately a sports bar or a hangout bar. Again, a lot of people will be in bathing suits when they're there. Cheryl said it's too bad that no one. That people aren't reading the comments. Is it possible, Joe or Brian Mendez, can you guys grab some of the potential bar names that were discussed here and from the comments, and maybe just we'll put those in a list and forward them over? There is a comment here. Devin said the name of the bar is not going to change how people are looking for in our homes. Vincent said, can we do a tie-in with the cafe? We have Cafe Soul. What about Bar Luna? There's an admin said Oasis Tropical Hangout. People are on holidays, so something fun sounding.
Hey, Brian,
yeah.
I considered Oasis, but here's the thing. if you're not real familiar with this area, one of the big amenity spaces at Champions Gate is the Oasis Club. So it cannot be Oasis because Champions Gate already has their biggest outdoor amenity space already with that name. And that would be confusing, I feel like.
Okay, sounds great. Kelly and Jeff said the name of the bar, they think it's very important, and they're like, it'd be great if maybe we could get some names together and put out a survey where people could vote on it, or something less fancy speak. Solterra, Sol Social. I'm trying to think what else we got here. Going quick. Sun and Sip, Tan and Tonic Bar. If there's anyone else that has ideas, please throw them in there. We'll put them into a list, get them to Debbie, Karen. We can talk about them in the next meeting, or throw it in for a survey for homeowners to be able to vote on what they think, so we can just get the feedback from the community. But I think that's enough for us to kind of move on. Lots of comments there. We've only got 8 minutes left, so I'm going to go rapid fire on a couple other items. On my end, really quick, Joe has been working to try to be able to get this Solterra shuttle up and running. We're looking at one right now, possibly more down the road as we get it in place. We're still working with insurance, but there is we're exploring this and actively looking to see if we can get this going. It would, at beginning, probably run up and down the boulevard. As we get maybe more on campus, we'd be able to have it go up and down the streets to be able to do deliveries back to someone's home or their residence to get people back and forth to the pool quicker and happier, and ultimately a Cafe Sol and the bar. We have started meeting with a couple of architectural firms with the idea of helping us have kind of a master plan design for all of Solterra, whether that's redoing the logo or establishing set colors, set branding, so all of our signs and every creative asset on our amenity center or property looks consistent. Front gate, everything all the way throughout the property, and start looking at what can we slowly, as we build new things or as we switch out new things, how do we get it to where it's all in line and consistently the same. And then I'm working on a possible proposal to be able to help continue to adapt and grow our website, as well as possibly build out a Solterra mobile app that would allow solutions for everyone, property renters, homeowners, people looking to sell their property, people looking to buy property, all of those, wait times at the pool, capacity levels. There's been a lot of ideas that have been tossed around, so we're working on getting a proposal to be able to put a little bit more funds towards a website to help make the process better and hopefully get us more reviews and everything that we would want to have in there. So as that starts to come, if you guys have ideas for what you'd want to see on a website, or what it's missing, or someone else that has something, another property that has something on their website that you think is very valuable, let us know. Send it to me. Send an email to me. I'll get in a list and we'll work to get it in when we get these proposals done and figure out who we can bring on for that. Is Bobby on the call? We went quick today.
Yes, I'm here.
Go for it. Any updates on security?
No, right now there's currently not much going on. We had a gate malfunction that was repaired within a day. We did get hit by lightning that fried one of the kiosks. We've opted not to replace that, use the equipment we currently have to save the community the money. We're still looking at other options to switch providers and replace Proptia. That's something we'll discuss further in shade come the next meeting. But besides that, unless anyone has questions for me.
That's good. I just put in to see if any questions there. There was more that came back. Can we suggest, this is Kelly and Jeff going back to Cafe Sol, can we suggest allowing guests to continue ordering drinks and food from both locations instead? So would people be able to order food from the bar and vice versa?
Of course.
Okay.
We want them to eat and drink.
Yeah.
And be married. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Great questions there. Anything else for security or front gate? Tammy threw in another comment here real quick. Just tagging on to what Devin said, making sure the bar fits into Solterra current design, decor, and Cafe Soul new sign, etc. Yeah, definitely have a consistent visual branding. I think is what we want to be able to make sure we're aligned with. Um, has entry been addressed, or is it still an issue? Someone had a question, Bobby, for you.
Entry's still flowing. We're not really seeing any traffic more than 5 to, I'd say, 9 minutes at most. We're sending a lot of traffic to the clubhouse to check in. However, unfortunately, a lot of people don't follow direction and choose not to go to the clubhouse and just go right to the house. And then that causes some of the return traffic to the front gate as they come back through and argue that they checked in and they haven't gone to actually get their pass.
Okay, great. Thank you. Any other questions from the community, Town Hall?
I just want to comment on the entry thing that I think that it has been significantly better since the clubhouse hours have been extended till, what is it, 10 o'clock now, Joe? That's really helped at the front gate, in my opinion.
So about the front entry gate, I do the rule follower thing, and I stay in that left-hand turn lane until it's my turn to turn into the homeowner's side. What I have seen over and over and over again that is endangering not only our guests but our homeowners and just anybody who is traveling from the Ernie Caldwell side up to Ronald Reagan, and they see that open line of traffic, and they're just soaring through there. And all of a sudden, somebody comes around on the right hand side who feels like they're a homeowner and they don't have to wait for the guests to check in. So they just zip right around. And and it has happened. It happened last year where somebody did that and they end up T-boning somebody who was doing that, and all parties in both vehicles had to be airlifted out. It's a very serious thing, and I would and it's not that long of a wait. Further to what Debbie was saying and what Bobby was saying, you know, even when it's been the longest line I've seen on heavy check-in days, maybe it was 10 minutes. But really, I never wait there for more than 2 or 3 minutes. It may seem like an eternity, but it's only 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And so I'm pleading with everybody for the safety and the sake of all concerned. Please do not pass people on the right-hand side to make that left-hand turn.
Right.
Stay in your lane.
It's great. Well, thank you guys. We're coming to an end now. I want to thank everyone for showing up. If you have any questions or want to discuss any of these things further, you are welcome to email your board members. You can find all of our contact information on the Solterra Resort CDD website. Thank you guys for being here, being a part of this. We're excited about a lot of these changes and what's coming, a lot of good new things, and we appreciate the feedback and you guys being a part of helping us make the changes that are going to make Solterra better.
Really quick, does anybody have any questions? I know we spent a lot of time on the name of the bar. Does anybody have any questions about landscaping in the community?
Let's see, I'm
No,
watching the
no,
comments.
no complaints, no comments.
I've
Everybody's
heard no
happy.
complaints from anyone. I haven't seen anything.
I think
Yeah,
Dora, I
perfect
want to give a
score.
shout out to Dora. They're doing an amazing job. They got handed a massive workload with just figuring out what our irrigation issues were. And that has been the predominant reason for the failure of so many of our landscape issues. And and all of that seems to be the majority of which are corrected now. So there might be a few individual homeowner issues or things like that. We are trying to get to everything, but in the interim, they are just doing a phenomenal job, and that's about it. I'm really excited for what they're for everything that they're doing. The mulch of the pine straw is slated for November. We're getting a quote on creating a border for the places where the mulch hits the sidewalk. The great thing about the pine straw is that it does not float, it does not weep. It pretty much stays where it is. And we don't have to go through the expense of removing it either. It was only supposed to last 6 months, and we're going a year. So it's half the cost for the material itself and the installation. And and so I think that was a really good thing. They're working on Pine Tree Trail. We're working on getting free trees, which Sunscape is making the application. We should be able to get maybe 250 trees for free. And even Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts of America might actually be able to do the installation for us. Um, I think it was Devin and one other person mentioned to me the idea on Pine Tree Trail just as an intermittent um, uh, safety thing, and something that would be less expensive than the overhead roof line, which, we don't have a cost on it. Somebody said in WhatsApp that it was $200,000. I don't know where they got that from because none of us have ever gotten a quote or a bid on what it would cost. There are several steps before we can do that. So that was just off the top of somebody's head. Don't believe what you see in WhatsApp. But the good idea that I heard was somebody said, why not? I think it was Devin and one other person, to put signs along Pine Tree Trail indicating, where to turn and what the rules are. That's relatively inexpensive. It just has to be attractive so it doesn't look like, good eats this way, it should look, like something nice,
That
and
county has
welcoming.
certain ordinances on where we can put those signs. That's why we don't have signs out there currently.
Well,
Joe and
it's
I,
our property, right?
it
It's
doesn't matter.
right.
There's a
It
line easement from the street that has to be
it's
met by county guidelines.
Right. We have a 5 foot easement. I've checked on that, or actually Brian Mendez let me know about that. But there is some, just like there are, Ryan Holmes puts a sign out there. There's no reason why we can't. It just can't be like a county sign or something like that. But we can put signage up. Home builders do it all the time. Turn this way for model homes. That kind of thing is what I think we're
Yeah.
talking about.
Good.
And it's inexpensive. We can design it like we want to design it. There's an area around, not to step on Debbie's toes, but there's an area around the amenity center around the side where they're parking the golf carts, and they're kind of, it's kind of like creating its own little sand pit area. And I'm thinking that either gravel, or if we have some leftover pavers from the sand volleyball area that aren't being used or something, maybe we can actually create a nicer looking approach, and pad for those golf carts so it just doesn't look like, they're driving all over the place. We're
Okay.
talking about replacing those dying cypress in front of the sand volleyball court with Confederate jasmine on the fence, and 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 interspersed where the cypress trees are with crepe myrtle and some annuals at the bottom to give it a really nice look and give it some color. And then the front entrance, I walked it with Angel and came up with some ideas. We're looking for a proposal on that, as well as irrigating those pots around the pool that really need to get irrigated. It's not a big expense, but it's a big weight on our amenities staff, and probably a big waste of money on an hourly basis if we can just pull in irrigation lines to all of those pots.
Okay.
And then the other thought that I had was, well, never mind. I think that those are the important things. Those are the highlights.
If anyone has questions about landscaping or comments about anything Karen said, please shoot her an email and let her know what you're thinking or go from there. I know we went a couple minutes over, but a wonderful update for today. Thank you guys so much for attending. Thank you for the vendors that showed up today to be able to talk about some of the projects for the community as well. This is recorded, so anyone that even couldn't be here will watch it later. So we want to thank you guys for taking the time, and we're excited about our projects moving forward. With that, have a wonderful night, guys. Thank you for showing up, and we will see you at the next meeting.
Thanks all.
Bye-bye. Turn this shit off.